Hey, what's up, everyone? My name is Lionel. I'm your host for LT Productions, and you are watching I Watch You Watch. Today, we are covering The Real Housewives of Atlanta, Season 17, Episode 2, Supersized. I don't know why it was supersized, but hey. I do appreciate everyone for coming to my channel. Please like this video. You can also subscribe and leave your comments below. Let's get into this week's episode. All right, so we begin this episode with a couple of what I want to call them, like intros from different ones, little 10, 15-minute clips. We see Shamia and Pinky, they're doing the, where you put your body, I think it's cold water, but it was just a few seconds. Why was this in the trailer? And why are we just getting that mini little second? I don't know. I thought that there would have been some type of scene with Shamia and Pinky since they are friends. Anyways, the first real scene of all those intro scenes is Phaedra and her son Aiden, whom we met back in season 3. She's now making a joke and a mockery of her lies, saying that she didn't know when her due date was. I don't know. I'm gonna be critical of everything that she says and does, so if y'all don't want to deal with it over here, I get it. So now we're making fun of it. Yeah, we make jokes and stuff online because we know that you're a liar, and a lot of people allow you to do it and just go on about that day, which I don't understand. But other people can tell a half truth and they're massacred. But anyways, she's driving and all that, and we're hearing that Aiden has been driving since the age of 12. And then Phaedra let come out of her mouth is that Aiden is the designated driver for Apollo. In her confessional, she's leading on that Apollo is this drunk. True or not, that's slanderous. Number 2, you have your teenage son being a designated driver for a grown adult man. And then Phaedra says something about, I'm wasting too much time on her, but you're in high school now. Of course, well, what age is Aiden then? Because I'm like, because in my mind frame, of course, it's what, 14, 15 when you start learning, get your driver's permit and all that. I don't know how the ages are now, and states are different, but I don't think that they've lowered the age. So maybe Aiden is just getting to high school. Maybe he's a freshman. I don't know. Anyways, let me move on from her. Portia, Kate Michelle, and Kelly. They go to some place, a tea time place, and we learn from Michelle that she's going to be going to Nashville, going to an Academy of Country Music Honors, where she will be honoring Reese Palmer. Now, she's been an advocate of country music for Black artists. I don't know who she is. However, since I saw this episode, I'm going to research her and find out who she is and her songs and all of that. Portia and Kelly, they are trying to find a way to get a sisterhood, per Portia's words. Kelly said, I don't really want to be in a bad place with you. I think that we have more in common than we do have of the opposites, of clashing and all that. Because I think Portia said in her confessional, they're like oil and vinegar. No, I think Kelly likes to be messy, and you don't like people calling you out on your ish, per usual. So Portia said, well, before we can actually move forward, we're going to have to really find out what has really, and I'm paraphrasing, held us back. And she said, Portia went on to say that something that Kelly said hurt her. And all of a sudden, my eyebrow goes up. And it seemed like, she says, what happened, it seemed like we were okay. Then you got closer with Shamia. And then you started saying things about me. And what hurt me is that P needs to stop effing everyone's husband. Well, Portia, you're the one last season that said, Angela better be careful before I F Charles. How did that hurt you? There's another commentator, he's renowned, who got up and started saying that we need to let go of this trope of Portia effing people's husbands. She put that out there. And I think also talking about Simon. We hardly got to talk about him last season. And the way Portia wanted to say, let me stop. It's out there. She don't know how to really close things. She just wants people to move on after she done did whatever she did. Yeah, so how are you hurt, ma'am? You put that out there when we already knew what you do. Um, so she said, well, why would you be saying that about me? This is what Portia is saying to Kelly, when you are also effing other husbands. And Kelly said, what? What are you talking about? So Portia says that she slept with a married man, Kelly did, during, I think this is the BET Awards weekend, whatever weekend, when they have stuff going on. And Kelly said, where are the receipts? Because Portia said, it's a fact. It's a fact. Oh, okay. Whomever Portia was with, the man ended up texting saying, yo, I just effed Kelly. Now, look, I know a lot of men who just like doing cheating for sport and all this stuff. To be loud and proud about it is a little bit different. Of course, they'll say, yeah, I just got this chick and all that. That don't even sound at all well or whatever. But then he said that after he got done effing you, he changed his clothes and then went to go meet his wife at his house, which that didn't make sense. Were you trying to say that she went over there and met him too? Met her too, Kelly? Because I listened to it over again. I'm like, what are you talking about? And then you said, Portia, that the guy overheard you with the guy that you were sleeping with start talking about Dennis. Just like you said that Drew was trying to F Dennis last season. That you said that Dennis told you that Drew was trying to F. Which was a lie. What else? So, when it's all said and done with Portia lied. Someone asked online, do you think that Portia is telling the truth? Or was it a lie? I think Portia does know some tea. I think that there is some truth. How she done told this story is not accurate, which disqualifies whatever she got going on, and it's going to be harder for people to believe her in the future when she tries to say something. Now, Portia's a liar, anyways. Basically, what Portia was doing, she was giving a warning sign. She says, if you don't stop talking about me, I'm gonna go in on you. I don't think Kelly caught it as that, but you better understand who the face of the show is and who Bravo has put in charge. And this was her way of sunning you. Yeah. They end up hugging it out. But Kelly isn't over it, even though she hugged it out with her. These fake folks on here. Anyways, we move on to Pinky and Derek. We start getting into their background. They've been married for 5 years. She got pregnant within 3 months of their relationship. Don't do as I do, do as I say. Derek has 2 daughters outside of Pinky. They're older. And 3 with Derek. She is from a Jamaican bloodline. Her mom, growing up, worked 4 jobs, and that really empowered her to be a boss. She opened up Slutty Vegan. She said as a backdoor kitchen. Then she turned her business into a food truck, and now she's operating in 14 locations. I had heard about Slutty Vegan. I have not eaten there before. She talks about losing her company and bought it back within 43 days after losing it. She was 20 million in debt. All that good stuff. Derek, he is the owner of Big Dave's Cheesesteaks. I'm going to do some research on him. I did a quick Google before I started this video. I have some things to say. We'll leave it right there for a second. But he has a franchise of this corporation. I was like, okay, cool. So they're kind of on the same level. But guess what? They don't have a prenup. In this day and age. Derek starts talking about Pinky is a dominant woman and how she used to boast, like, or he, at least how he said it, is like nobody else could really tame you, but I was the one, but I humbled you. And Pinky was like, what? You didn't humble me. Um, he says that he loves dominant women. He thinks that they balance each other out, and it pushes him. Pinky, you don't have a prenup, and this man sounds like he's in competition with you. That's what it sounds like. Um, I'm noticing. Yeah, so when I was looking at this Google search, I just find it interesting that all of a sudden all these articles about Derek have popped up in 2026, right when the show is about to air. I didn't know anything about him. I don't think I've ever heard of Dave's cheesesteak, Big Dave's cheesesteaks. Not saying that it was not a substantial company, a prominent company. It's just I hadn't heard anything, and now, as soon as I Google, now I know everything about it. I don't know everything. I'm going to research. But now I'm seeing Forbes and all that stuff. But I heard of Pinky, but I never heard of you, sir. So I just feel like there is this big fluff. Not saying it's not real, but it's just like, oh, let's get out there like we're really this, that, and the other for this show. Tell me what y'all think. Um, we move on to K Michelle. She is moved into her home. We do not know where it is, but it's somewhere far, far away. Shout out to Shrek. Of course, she married, we think, her man, a doctor, somebody, I forgot. I said it last week. They've been friends since junior high. She had this stance of, I did not want to get married. Then when the doctor didn't step up to do it, she was offended. That doesn't make sense to me. I went back and watched it again. Pinky and Kay's stories. I was offended. So then I had to go pop out and show it what it's all about. She was about to marry another man. Now, what I still got to watch the interview. Jason and K Michelle did an interview, and another man was going to be on the show with her. But basically, she forced this doctor's hand to get her to marry him, to marry her for this show. I know y'all want me to be nice. I don't dislike K Michelle, but I'm seeing the tricks and the hallucinations that she's trying to play just to be on the show. But she's not the only one. She says that she wants another baby, a girl. She has fertility issues right now. A lot of people got thoughts about this man and Kay, and I got them too. But I'll hold that on the table. Okay, Shabia and Kelly and Angela. They're going shopping someplace, but they don't actually buy anything, which is really getting old. Kelly comes in. Shabia's got hair on. Good. Keep that Fantasia thing away from us. Kelly talks about, how things are just going right now, and it's really hard. Her ex-husband did an interview with Tasha K, and she doesn't know why he's going to distasteful blogs. Since you said that, Kelly, expect Tasha K to come back out. Just saying. Not saying that you don't have to say that you don't have to. You don't have to say anything. What I am just saying, like, look, just know that Tasha K is gonna come back out, and she's gonna find somebody else, and I'm sure it's gonna be some type of male to come at you. But anyways, she's in debt, and I don't think that she's really talking about these lawsuits. All she will just say is that she was in debt, and it took over 100K for the new restaurant. But you see what people don't. Why aren't anybody calling her out? Nobody's calling her out. You're just saying I'm in debt. You're not talking about the lawsuits at all. Because we saw all that stuff go down the timeline for many months, man. She said that, because of expenses, Chop Chop has not been able to get the normal treatment that she usually gets. That's a recession indicator. uh, so then she gets in on what Portia tried to accuse Kelly of. You got all this mouth with Shamia and Angela, and now you calling her Horsha. But you didn't call her Horsha to her face. And that's what I need you to do, Kelly. But you do that a lot. You do that in confessionals and all that. No, say that to her face. But for whatever reason, Portia is putting the fear of God in y'all. I won't even say God. The fear of the devil in y'all. And I'm going to talk about Shamia in just a minute. Yeah, you got a lot of mouth now. Shamia wants to talk with Angela and say, well, since you've had time to process, knowing that Drew wasn't really believing all the receipts, da 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 da, and Angela said, I'm good. But still, basically, this is what's going on. And Shamia we're going to talk about it now and later. Shamia wants to start mess because stuff ended up happening with her and Portia due to what you were saying about Portia. You don't want to take ownership of that. Ain't that something? So you want to start mess there. But later on, she's going to be asking, how are y'all able to just resolve things? And I'm still in the outs with my bestie. Okay, so we go to a movie premiere. In the beginning of the episode, Drew was inviting Angela to her movie premiere, and she was trying to figure out who else should be invited. It looks like the whole cast is invited. Claudia Jordan is in the movie also, and some other people are too. That Erica girl from Love and Marriage, Hip Hop, or no, not Love and Hip Hop. The one that's racist. That got kids with what's his name? Safari? Is that his name? Yeah. Yeah, she's in the movie too, if I'm not mistaken. But anyways, Phaedra runs up on Angela. Angela tries to be a good sport and all that good stuff. Angela is kind of just reevaluating everything and just kind of want to approach Phaedra in a different way. And she basically just says, first asks Phaedra, did you send these men? Or send that man there? She says no. Angela says, well, I apologize for not asking you up front. I should have. I just accused you. And Phaedra takes this as she's just absolved from everything. I got my apology. And hopefully she finds out who actually did it. Basically, this is Angela's way of just letting it go. Because she knows that she's not going to get the truth. But Phaedra going to hang on to that I've been absolved. I know she is. Drew and Phaedra are okay all of a sudden? Even though Phaedra was like, I don't know if I want to be friends with her in her confessional. I don't want to be friends with folks that would just believe something about. But you had the whole world believing that Candy was a artist. You're talking about you need an apology, but you didn't apologize to Candy. And if I tweet this today, somebody gonna say, get over it. Why should I get over it? Kenya apologized about her inappropriateness with Apollo, and y'all still on her tail about it. Moving on. Portia comes. Portia comes. Portia is brought a date, and it's a woman. A woman that's a stud. I have some thoughts. I really feel like this is gay for pay, meaning I got to come up with a storyline for this show. So why not make me be fluid? That's my thoughts right up front. And I'm not changing it until I see something else. Now, Portia talks about, I have dipped everything in the pond as far as the lady pond. Even though this is the first time in 12 seasons for you, that you've actually admitted that, but you've lied and said that this wasn't it. You first were a God chaser, calling all the homosexuals and lesbians that you are worthy and you need to come up from out of that lifestyle, to you were actually doing stuff in the closet. And now people aren't at all up at arms about that because you have big tits, a big butt, a nice smile, a good wig. You're pretty Portia, pretty perfect Portia, PPP, and you get away with it. You get to sneak your way right into the community That's all I'm going to say about it for now. And Drew said, why are you living my life? And Portia said, you heard that? But that's for Drew to tell. I mean, Drew should tell it, but Drew's a church girl too. Portia was a church girl too. And y'all, Phaedra's a church girl too. And that's why you see this double life going on amongst the three of them. I'm liking Drew now, but I got to call it a thing a thing. So Angela brings up about what Kelly said. And Kelly's just talking about Portia and called her Portia. Oh, she's spilling her own tea? Well, I don't. Nobody's going to believe you, Portia, because of all of the nonsense that you said that came along with it. In short, Portia said, I'm not coming to Kelly's opening for the waffle thing. It's the day of Kelly's opening, and it looks like she is really going through it. Now I understand why Kelly be wearing these eyeglasses. I was like, why did she take them? Like her. It's just like she had all this makeup here, but I was like, what? Did y'all notice that? Or does Kelly wear glasses for real in real life? Because I was like, it seemed like you were just missing your makeup from here. Everything else was kind of done up. I don't know. It was a little bit weird. But anyways, the folks come. Now, Shamia's dad and mom come to the waffle opening. Where's Gerald? And y'all can say, why y'all keep asking about this man? You know he's not coming. We know that. But I mean, you can get your mom and dad to come up in here and not your husband. Shamia sees that things are progressing with Angela and Drew with Phaedra. And now Shamia's like, what's the deal? How are y'all able to resolve things? Da, 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 da. Shamia, you have a problem with that because you haven't been able to resolve things with Portia. And what Portia did to you is sunned you. You're a punk towards her. And she was able to dead the situation and not really resolve anything, and now y'all not friends at all. After how many years of being friends, and as soon as you finally have some objections and speaking up, now she is able to just cut you off at the knees and just say, we're done. You're done. You're dumb. But y'all come up in here just afraid of her. Why? You of all people, Shamia, you should know her through and through. And you should know how to really go at her. But obviously, you know that she's got some things about her, ways about herself that you don't like, that you don't really want to confront. But you're a punk. PK and Kelly talk. And they resolve things right away. Kelly, for you to say, which I thought was just dumb in the first place last week, she's not a girl's girl because she didn't talk. And Pinky explained, like, I know I left you on red, da 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 da. I was really going through some things at the time. And Kelly said, okay, I'll take that. Kelly, why didn't you tell your real feelings so that she could look at you stupid like some of us do? Even though I'm not really feeling Pinky like that, I'm going to be fair in this whole situation right now. Because what? You try to put a label on her, but you're mad that Portia putting a label on you as being a husband ucker. Portia again said that she wasn't coming to the waffle thing, so she sent flowers. Kelly is not amused, and then she gets up and tells the whole group what Portia is saying about her. And she ended up doing something with the flowers, and somebody called Portia. I don't know who, but they ended up passing the phone to Kelly. And Portia was in congratulation mode, and did you get my flowers? And she said, yeah, they're broken. And she's like, they're broken flowers from a broken person. Now, Kelly, you're going to say, look, I don't need her flowers. I need her patronage. Meaning you know you broke. Cha-Cha know you broke. Look how miserable she looks. Not saying that you got to be fake, but if you want somebody's patronage, calling somebody broken and stuff and still going on and being... Am I more on your side? Yeah, because y'all know I don't like Portia. But at the same point, we got to hold you accountable. You're fake and you're a punk. Of course, it's easy to say all that stuff on the phone. Don't say it to her face, like Angela told you earlier. Then we get this dumb scene between Shamia and Drew. Shamia's trying to act like she was trying to apologize, like she apologized and she was moving on, but Drew got the problem. And Drew's like, no, you made this apology. You still got an issue with me, da 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 da. Sharon's mom, Miss Sharon, Shamia's mom gets in between them and now giving this sermon and all that stuff. That's all good. Fine and dandy. Miss Sharon, I think you should sit down. Drew said in her confessional, let's not get the mothers involved because you're going to get my mama up in here, you're going to get the Bible, you're going to get the oil, and you're also going to get the South of Chicago. I agree. She shouldn't have got up in this mess. And Drew trying to like let her mama know what her daughter really been up to. But it's a losing battle. It shouldn't have happened. They hug, fake hug. We go down to Nashville and we see Michelle. Okay, Michelle, she's honoring the woman. And the next thing we cut into the hospital. There's this big dramatic thing, and we're trying to still figure out what's going on with Michelle. She's bleeding out. She didn't even realize that she was. And her team got her together enough to get on stage, but she still had to go to the hospital. So there's a bleeding out is this open wound from a repair from when she had surgery before. What has happened is that she got illegal silicone butt injections. She's done this documentary and all of that some years ago. Probably like 4, maybe 5 years ago. But I think Carlos King was the executive producer on it, if I'm not mistaken. But anyways, yeah, she had got it done. I think that that'll be a good story for a lot of, especially these Atlanta folks. But anyways, this episode was okay, but I still see a lot of foo-la-la. Y'all let me know how y'all felt about this episode and the people that were in it. I thought Drew's confessional in the red and the blonde, she looked very good. Angela's black outfit, very good. But yeah, I think that Pinky and K. Michelle are putting on to look a certain way so that they can be on the show. And that's just my opinion. And I was going to hold back, but just like, why? Everybody else seeing it. Well, a lot of other people see it. Anyways, I appreciate everyone for coming. Like, comment, subscribe. And until the next one, peace.